What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I do music reviews and we just chill and talk about all the things that we love or hate. And if you got anything you want me to review, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I will make it happen for you. And if you do that, you just happen to like what you see here and you want to help support me and my channel, just make me feel good about myself, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on your requested review, because sometimes that does happen and people keep requesting the same thing even though I already did a review on it, and it makes me sad. But for today's video, we're going to be checking out the newest album, Requiem, from the band Korn. For those of you who have been underneath a rock for the past 30 years and you have no idea who Korn is, they are a new metal band from California. They started in 1993, and Requiem is their 14th studio album. This band has been probably my favorite new metal band since the beginning, but they've definitely tapered off. The kind of grew out of new metal. Their music isn't really as exciting as it used to be. Their last album, The Nothing, was actually pretty dang good, but I was curious to see what this album was going to bring to the table in terms of lyrical content and mood, just because during The Nothing, which was a very dark, sad album, Jonathan Davis's mother and his wife ended up passing away during the recording of that album. So a lot of stuff happened. I was not really sure if it was going to go down a darker path, if he was going to explore those emotions, or if we are going to get a lighter album or just something closer to The Nothing all over again. I'm not really sure where he was going to go with it, but the singles definitely felt like it was going to be a little bit lighter, and then they also said it was going to be a little bit lighter album as well. So I was just interested in seeing how they were going to do that, how they were going to incorporate these different type of subject matters into it, how Jonathan Davis's songwriting and lyrical writing was going to be affected through these very tragic losses that he went through, and how they were still going to manage to keep the album lighter at the same time. The album opens up with the song Forgotten, which has a really cool riff in the intro with some sticky percussion stuff going on. A very stereotypical guitar effect happens in the verses and in the chorus. The chorus sounds amazing though, as the emotion and the chugs start to come out along with more powerful vocals. The bridge definitely brings the energy up and tells you not to feel sad for Jonathan, as he feels like he's being stripped of basically everything. And then it goes into the second song, Let the Dark Do the Rest, which is actually a very cool name. It has this back and forth kind of feel in the riff, but then it tones down to just a melody in the verses. The chorus gets just a little bit more vocal presence, and that's about it. It's got sort of weird transitions going from the chorus into the verse. And I really dig the atmosphere in the bridge, but again, another weird transition going from the bridge into the final chorus. I really dig the whole sound of this song, and I really like the lyrics, and the vocals sound great. It just kind of feels like it was all pieced together more than anything else. Then we have the first song that was released as a single off of this album, which is titled Start the Healing. It starts out with this stompy, hand clapping thing in the intro and the verses. The chorus is catchy but kind of bland. I really do enjoy the lyrics throughout the song, but mainly in the verses. I really like how light this song was, especially as the first single that was released. It really showed that their lyrical content can still be kind of heavy, while the overall sound is pretty light and not too dark, and it's kind of uplifting at the same time. The bridge has a nice build-up going in the refrain that keeps building up as it goes into the final chorus, which I think would have been cool if they made it hit just a little bit harder going in the chorus, but then they delivered that in the outro. Then we have the song Lost in the Grandeur. It's got like this scratchy intro that's almost thrashy, and the cadence in the verse is great as they have like some echoey vocals. The chorus is, dare I say, kind of cliche, especially for Korn. It has a decent sound, and the backing melody is a really nice touch throughout it. The bridge takes a turn towards the aggression, which I absolutely love, especially from Korn. But I just wish they would have followed through with it going into the final chorus instead of dumbing everything down. Like, it brings all this energy, and the final chorus hits, and it feels just kind of underwhelming in a sense. And now for the back half of the album, I feel like things kind of took a turn for the worse, at least for me, starting with the song Disconnect. It's got heavy, like, Deftone vibes to it, only in the intro though, which I thought would have been cool if they kind of kept that kind of thing going on instead of numbing everything down. However, the vocal cadence in the verses sounds great, and the verses have like this screeching guitar thing that sounds kind of cool. It seems to be more focused on the melodies in this song, if you can't tell by the chorus. The bridge definitely brings the heat though. I just felt like this song was it just wasn't anything we haven't heard before, which goes into Hopeless and Beaten. It's got like this old school Korn vibe to it, while still being modern Korn at the same time, especially in the chorus with like the distorted vocals when they scream like at the end of each line. The bridge changes things up just a little bit, but it doesn't really bring anything new to the song. Again, it just kind of feels like the song starts, not a whole lot happens, and then it ends. Penance to Sorrow starts out with this falling away from me kind of melody that honestly it should have stuck around for at least a little bit more of the song going into the verses. The chorus has a decent flow to it, but it's very predictable at this point. The bridge is kind of cool, but it would have been better if the vocals were 100% distorted instead of giving a little bit more cleans to it, just to make the song feel a little bit more, I don't know, mixed up in that sense. Then we have the song My Confession, which starts out with a groovy riff, and again, it should have stuck around going through the verse, but then it comes back around to it in the pre-chorus, and it does okay building up in the chorus, but then the chorus just feels like another verse. It's not really that big, doesn't have a whole lot of energy. And then the bridge is exciting for a second, and then it dies down. I just wish they would have just kept that energy going. I feel like they're too formulaic at this point in this album. Then we have the closing track to this album, The Worst Is On Its Way, which is a phenomenal song. It has a great rhythm in the intro that sticks around for the verses. It keeps its musical presence. It doesn't just go down to drums and some little melody in the background. It kind of holds on to the essence of what the song is and what gets you excited about it. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The chorus brings more energy to the song, which sounds so good. And the bridge has tons of dissonance to it. And then the scatting at the end of the bridge, and then after the chorus and the outro, it sounds so good. I understand if you think the scatting is kind of silly, but it's Korn. This is what they do. If you don't like the scatting, you probably shouldn't be listening to Korn at this point after 14 albums of them doing it. And I feel like this song is what like the whole album should have been based around, is this style of writing. And I feel like all the other songs were kind of lacking this kind of creativity, this kind of out of the box thinking, and this style of Korn just doing what they do. My favorite thing about this album is how light it was. You don't feel sad or depressed or a lot of melancholy after you get done listening to it, even though the lyrics do get kind of deep and they dive into personal stuff that Jonathan was going through. They're not overbearing. The atmosphere isn't super dark. The production on this album sounds great, and some of the riffs do hit hard. However, a lot of these songs feel like they're kind of rinse and repeat, especially once you get past like the fourth song and you reach the back half of the album. You start to feel like I've already heard this song before now. And Korn riffs have a tendency to be weird. Like their melodies, all that are very simple, but they're out of the box. And when you hear them, you know you're hearing a Korn riff. And I didn't really get that sense from them, other than the stuff that was going on in the background of the verses after the intros, where like everything dies out and you just have drums and vocals. There's like this little melody going on, but it just isn't really doing a whole lot. I wish it was just a little bit louder in the mix to bring up that uniqueness that Korn normally brings to the table. And honestly, I can't really judge Korn too much based on this, because they're trying to do something new, not trying to be dark. And if people were hearing them do the same thing that they were doing 30 years ago, and then everybody would be complaining about how they never evolve and they've just been doing the same thing. So they took kind of a step in a different direction with this album, which I can appreciate. So with all that, I gotta give Requiem by Korn a 7.2 out of 10. I feel like most fans are going to be a little bit more polarized by this album. There's going to be a lot more hatred towards it, and there's going to be a lot more people that are absolutely in love with it. So I feel like it's kind of weird, me almost landing somewhere in the middle. So I want to know what you guys think. If you've given Requiem a listen, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought. If you haven't, go ahead and give a couple of these songs a listen. It's only a 9-track album. It's like 30-something minutes long. You can go through it super fast and easy, and let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what I should review next. If you want to, again, help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of those things helps me out tremendously. And even if you don't, you just take time to watch my video and listen to me talk, I appreciate it more than you could ever imagine. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time. I was trying to